Real quickly before we jump into it, if you guys are interested at all in G Fuel, my good friends over there bumped up my code of espresso to 30% off from now until the morning of June 17th, 1 week from today. So if you're interested in a restock, want to try a new flavor, or whatever it may be, now's as better a time as ever if you guys want to. So link in the description below, check that out if you guys are interested, but back to the regular schedule content. It's Monday. That means that we're looking forward to a new week here, not only in whatever our lives may bring, but also within Call of Duty. So as always with our Monday series, let's take a look at some things to look out for this week in the world of Call of Duty. We're going to be taking a look at two fronts here at this because it's kind of a catch-up week and also kind of a week that introduces some new content on the lead-off side as well. So whether you're on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC, you should hopefully be able to get something out of this that even if already the biggest stuff is behind you, you have something to look forward to, or maybe the biggest is still yet to come. So that said, let's just jump right into it. Let's start out with the lead-off side here at this. Let's talk about the PlayStation 4 end because we're a week ahead of where Xbox One and PC users will be. So PlayStation 4 is pushing first into this event of content and the schedule up ahead. So we're going to take a look at what's on deck here for this. Let's start out with what I think is probably the biggest part here out of this on PlayStation 4's end, the fact that Alcatraz is going to be reintroduced here for the Blackout game mode. If you guys check it out as of right now, well, you see that we have ground war, solos, duos, and quads, but not a fifth game mode for the first time in quite a while. Now, Alcatraz was removed here as of the update last week, but is going to be reintroduced as of tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As for the reasoning to hold this off, I'm not entirely sure, but hey, I mean, I'll take it. It keeps me playing a week more into the event, especially after what transpired last week that admittedly kind of took a hit on my will to play. So I'm excited to jump back in and play something that I know I'll enjoy here at this. And of course, along with this, we'll end up seeing a couple of adjustments made to it. The two biggest with Alcatraz being that there's new POIs or points of interest. Two of them to be exact, one being a shipwreck and one being the submarine. Now, it looks like shipwreck based off of the trailer that we see. This looks like it will be over by that shallow cove on the tent side of the map, and then on the opposite side by the building labeled Alcatraz, that's where the submarine looks to be. Now, both of these again are quite large in comparison to other locations on the map, but of course it's Alcatraz, so you're definitely going to be flanked or taken up for contention of your hold on that area of interest if you end up staying there a little too long. One other interesting part that really stands out to me is that from the data mine stuff that we discussed on Friday is that it actually looks like from the loading screen that cell block was entirely leveled, where there's a hole in the ceiling and pretty much it looks like an explosion was at the center and just pushed everything outwards. It doesn't even look like there's that center cell block up until the walls of the building itself. It's all just cleared out open air. So that might be a big change up in a curve to the meta here within Alcatraz, but something to consider no less, and I'm definitely excited to jump in on PlayStation 4 as of tomorrow. Now, outside of Alcatraz, there's a couple of things that are lesser, but still things you should be able to look out for and maybe have some excitement here for. The next one being that if you're a Twitch Prime user, well, we may very well see the Twitch Prime Pack number 3 come as of tomorrow. Earlier on Friday, Call of Duty ended up tweeting out a last chance sort of thing saying, hey, get this while you can for Twitch Prime Pack number 2, which was for the month of May. As we normally see, each of the months that we've seen so far is right in that window of the first to beginning of the second week of the month, and well, as of tomorrow, it's the second week and the second Tuesday of the month. So certainly very possible, especially given the fact that Call of Duty gave a little warning that the other one was going away. But with this, again, from the data mine game files, we can end up seeing that we get a camo, an emote, as well as a reticle coming along with it. Definitely better than that second one of just a jump pack, face paint, and reticle. So I'm looking forward to that. The camo itself doesn't look half bad either. Outside of that, we're bound to have some playlist updates in terms of MP, Blackout, and I don't think zombies will change all that much, but we end up having the current featured playlist being a grind 24/7. That might be something that goes away here as of tomorrow. And then Blackout, I can't see ground war really going away, but I think that Alcatraz will be moved to that featured playlist spot. So that'll be a slight little update there for you guys to check out if you're interested. In terms of MP, if they end up switching anything around, they might bring back again Endurance or a Chaos mode. That seems to be the go-to whenever they swap something out and take a little bit of an off period before introducing a different game mode. So that might be the default game mode that switches with a playlist update, but as with every single Tuesday, we'll probably see one or two things change here in any of the game modes. As for the next things up on PlayStation 4's lead-off side, well, unfortunately this comes down to some shop refreshes. As with every Tuesday, we'll get new featured items, a new special order, and of course those daily deals end up switching out every 12 hours for you. So with this, it could be a number of different things. As we discussed on Tuesday, there are plenty of items that are still in the game files that are going to be here up until the end of Days of Summer. As for what they may be, your guess is as good as mine. Things like the Deep Voyage Spitfire Mastercraft, Sergei the Blacked Out character, the Grand Heist bundle with the Augur Mastercraft, any of those things could be coming in either any of those locations, or we'll also have a new special offer coming, something that may encompass any of those different things. The one thing that I am not looking forward to is the absolute capitalization on weapon bribes and the little chance that you have to get new weapons that are unfortunately in supply drops. Still absolutely against that. There are two bundles that I think may be special offers that include a uniform, 10 reserve crates, and then a weapon bundle on top of that. So those may very well be introduced as of tomorrow. One thing that was changed, that as we talk about a little bit of a shift, whenever the event started last week, it actually only had the Days of Summer items on that first day, but then switched over. So you should still have the option to see everything from the beginning of the operation up until now, not just Days of Summer content, but do with that information what you will. I don't really want to focus too much on that. Another thing to look out for in the way of MP is that of more information on contracts. As of last Tuesday, we ended up getting, of course, the patch notes and everything that came along with Days of Summer, and in that was one section saying contracts are coming, to which they ended up mentioning that it's going to be coming with next major update later this month, and they only simply listed at that time as it being new ways to earn additional in-game rewards. But later on, they closed that paragraph by saying stay tuned for more details next week as we get closer to launch. So seemingly maybe announcing a little bit more about how contracts will work, some of the things covered, and so on and so forth coming as of this week. And if I were to guess, again, there's going to be another update post by Treyarch over on Reddit talking about this for tomorrow's launch of Days of Summer for Xbox One and PC. And so therefore, that's a perfect time to include a little bit more information here on this. Personally, as we talked about yesterday, I think that there is very minimal, if not zero, room for error with contracts, so this might be our first intro into whether or not this remedies some things, or if it just is something added to the game that looks right past the issues that are at hand. Outside of that, though, on the lead-off side, and kind of now bridging the gap between PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, because this will probably go live in time for everything and all at once so that all platforms are fixed at the same time, we're going to talk some technical changes for the S6 Stingray Operator Mod. Now, of course, this is one of those new weapons that are only in supply drops, so the player population this affects is probably much smaller than a lot of different locations in the game, but there was an issue in the game mode of Safeguard in particular. Now, Safeguard, obviously, you don't want to destroy the robot. That is, if you're defending it as you escort it to the base. But there was an issue with the operator mod of the S6 Stingray, which turns that 2 burst into a 2-round explosive burst. This ended up doing damage to it even when you weren't the one trying to do damage to it. So obviously you can see the issue there. It would end up causing quite the conundrum, but this was announced that it would be something fixed out relatively soon. We haven't seen it happen just yet to my knowledge, and so therefore, with this now coming on all platforms as of tomorrow, wouldn't surprise me that it's just thrown in the mix to kind of tie all things together with a nice little bow, or maybe that might not be the best analogy given that not a lot of players may get it. But regardless, you get what I mean. Outside of that, though, let's talk a little bit about the Xbox One and PC side. This is where we're kind of playing catch up, but it's also something that's still a relatively big week for Xbox One and PC, though a lot of it is known as to what is going to be happening. First things first, as you're watching this right now, it is the final day of the first half of Spectre Rising. So that means that anything in tiers 1 through 50, you want to make sure that you capitalize on, whether that be your Nifo Odie at tier 25 or the Tiger Shark LMG at tier 50. You want to make sure that if you want any of that, you get it all done and out of the way as of 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, because once you do, well, it then refreshes and then it goes to a new contraband stream for Days of Summer, in which you'll end up getting at tier 25 a weapon bribe, and at tier 50 the Vendetta sniper rifle. And realistically, that brings me to the second part here for your catch-up week, that being that Days of Summer is going to officially begin as of tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that means, again, that contraband stream is introduced. That means that along with that weapon bribe and the Vendetta sniper, you're going to get a lot of calling cards, stickers, and tags in the contraband stream. You'll also end up getting a bunch of new things in reserves. Unfortunately, that also means those 4 new weapons of the S6 Stingray, the Peacekeeper, the Locust, and the Ballistic Knife. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with the community contract, whether or not that's going to be something that is separated by console, where PlayStation 4 has its own separate counter for that, and then Xbox One and PC get their own, or if you're going to be able to jump in and see whatever percentages it's at on PlayStation 4, you're going to jump in and see that immediately. Regardless, though, you'll soon after that that, end up getting the Galil as well. Along with these weapons and everything that comes along customization-wise, that means you'll also end up seeing Ground War and Blackout, the fun 50v50 mode, which honestly is quite enjoyable, I think, but it's definitely different. And unless it's competitive, you're either getting stomped or you're the ones stomping. So it's a weird shift, but I think it is still fun. So give that a go if it's your first time being able to jump into it as of tomorrow. Then also you'll end up getting CTF added in later on in the week. You'll end up getting the Grind 24/7 playlist, which also means that as of tomorrow, you'll end up getting Grind and MP for free. That fan favorite from Black Ops 2 is making its way back in for you guys and is, again, absolutely free. It might be one of 2 free maps that we end up seeing. As we talked about on Friday, there is assets for Splash returning from Black Ops 3. Might be a free map, but again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here because that's not coming tomorrow for you guys, but you can take advantage of that. Zombies you're going to be able to play in the new Gauntlet, and then you'll also have a few more elixirs, but outside of that, that is the Days of Summer event itself and the content coming along with that. You'll be able to take advantage of all of that, and the final thing to really look out for is something that, again, is just a recap here for this, but it's something that for you guys, the first time you'll see it, that being the shop refreshes here with this. Now, truthfully, again, it's another scenario that I don't know if it was an error that happened on the end of PlayStation 4's launch, but whenever PlayStation 4 ended up having it, it refreshed the entire shop and you didn't have the weeks before, but then it was either the day after or on Thursday that we ended up seeing that these were then added back in, so you have all of Spectre Rising up until now. So it might be the same scenario, but if that happens and you lose everything from beforehand and you're interested in that stuff still, don't worry, it should be coming back. But ultimately, that is the 9 things to look out for here within Black Ops 4 this week, and so therefore, we're gonna wrap it up there. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to here this week? I know that personally, for me, being on the lead-off side on the PlayStation 4 end, we already had the Days of Summer launch, so I'm very much so looking forward to the reintroduction of Alcatraz and the adjustments they made to that map there. Super stoked for that, just because, obviously, 1, I love Blackout, and 2, Alcatraz was a beautiful change of pace to the regular standard Blackout map. But if you're on Xbox One and PC, are you guys excited for anything that is in particular from Days of Summer, or are you not necessarily looking forward to seeing what the rightful uproar has been like in the PlayStation 4 side of things because of, you know, the new weapons? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. And if you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Try to live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But let's end out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.